Yep.
Hello, and welcome to an episode of Drinking the Kool-Aid. This is a comedy podcast dedicated to the mysterious. My name is Cassidy.
My name's Amanda.
And just going to start off right away. We are in LA. We are safe. We are not in a fire zone. We have some air quality issues here in Long Beach, but we are blessed compared to what many people are experiencing. And thank you to everyone who reached out to check in on us.
Yes.
We luckily, like I said, are not in an evacuation or fire zone. So we are okay. And once again, thank you for everyone who reached out.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah.
And obviously our hearts go out to everyone that is affected by the fires in LA. And hopefully you guys have seen all the resources and everything that we have been posting.
Yes, we've been posting on Twitter and on Instagram resources. If you are able to donate or share or anything like that, please do. We have both contributed to various funds and mutual aid, which I think mutual aid is like one of the most important ways to get help out there. Amanda's been really focused on making sure that animals are being taken care of. There's a lot of animals who were left behind and are now, strays.
Yeah, literally just walking
around. There's also animals that just were separated from their families for reasons they could not control. It's mayhem.
It is.
The thing is, like, when you live in somewhere like this where there's like, oh, it's something you also similarly see with like hurricane warnings, where people are like, okay, well, we've had 4 or 5 hurricane warnings and nothing ever happened and it was fine. I'm not gonna evacuate, right?
Yeah.
And so people don't take it seriously because 90% of the time it's fine. But unfortunately, like, the reason evacuation notices and evacuation warnings exist is because that 10% of the time is so devastating. Like, you have to take it seriously. So if you are in LA and you are under any sort of evacuation warning or especially an evacuation notice, like, please take it seriously. I mean, I know now we all have seen how terrifying it is.
Yeah.
And you also have to remember, guys, like, yeah, like, some of these houses are worth a lot of money, but a lot of these people have been living there since like the 50s and 60s or 70s. And like, that is their only asset.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, insurance companies have been dropping people over the last year.
I'm pretty sure the insurance company specifically for like the fire stuff happened within days before.
So after the Malibu fires, a lot of insurance companies refused to renew people's plans for fire safety. And you see a lot of that happening also in Florida for like flooding and hurricane insurance. And I mean, so a lot of these people lost, yes, a beautiful home. And you want to be like, oh, when we talk a lot about rich people on this show or whatever, but like, a lot of people, like, that was their entire wealth. Like,
yeah.
that was the asset that gave them wealth.
No, absolutely.
And so we have to remember, like, the enemy is not rich people whose houses burnt down. Like, we shouldn't be celebrating that ever. The enemy is the up even higher,
mm-hmm.
So yeah, our heart goes out to everybody. I mean, I've been watching, I've never watched Laguna Beach. Is that the show? It's not OC.
No, it's actually The Hills is what what you want to be referring to.
Okay. So I never watched The Hills. But I have recently become obsessed with
Spencer and Heidi Pratt.
Yes.
Like
obsessed. I listen to her music. Like, I stream her music.
And I have to say,
and it's good.
So before the fires happened too, like, you were texting me about Spencer Pratt.
Oh, I've been obsessed with both of their TikToks for like months now.
Yeah. And
so this is before the fires, but right now obviously he's blowing up because their house burnt down. I'm so sorry. Like, oh my God. So sad.
He is going viral on TikTok right now for his really truly incredible content that he's been putting out. Obviously it's devastating that it has to come during this tragic situation that's happening to him. And he will say, if you go to his TikTok, he does say that he's like, oh, funny how like nobody wanted to pay attention to me until my house burned down.
Yeah. But yeah, like, he's been posting, like, I mean, really, Heidi as well. I don't know if you've seen any of hers.
I know I have.
Just like really honest, like raw of like how it feels to be in this situation. And obviously like he has like more of like a comedic take on it, just personality wise, and she's been like very vulnerable and raw about all of it. But they've also been really honest that their insurer dropped them like 8 months ago, and so they had no fire insurance. So like that everything that they had is gone, and nobody is going to be helping to financially relieve them like at all. And it's just so insane that is even legal and allowed.
It is crazy
for them to just drop. And then meanwhile, it's like the insurance commissioner of California, right? He comes out and says like, oh, I'm putting a moratorium on insurance agencies dropping anybody for 1 year. So first I'm thinking, well, oh, you have that power to make it so insurance companies can't drop people for reasons like that. And also second, just for a year. So by next year, they're not going to cover anybody just in case you put another moratorium in. Like you're just screwing everybody.
Yeah. I mean, does this shock you?
No, not at all. But it's just so
it's devastating.
Blatant. It's so blatant. It's like insane. Yeah. So seriously, like we can't stop thinking about it. And it's just something that once again, you have to remember like the people that you see helping each other, that's community, right? Like not the government, not big companies, not CEOs. Your community are your neighbors and the people who help you get your family and your kids and your dogs and your everything out safe. Like those are the people you need to lean on in times like this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But speaking of Spencer and Heidi Pratt,
well, I was gonna say, but like at least Spencer and Heidi are getting their flowers now. I'm sad it took this, but I literally love them.
The fact like he's been posting on TikTok pretty much, multiple times a day, and he's like, oh, if you guys get me this many likes on this post, like I'll get $1,100 from TikTok or whatever. And I'm like, yes, I want him to get $1,100 from TikTok.
The funniest one I saw recently was somebody commented and was like, oh, watch Spencer Pratt milk every dollar out of losing his house. And he goes, yeah, of course, you idiots.
As he should. He just lost his house. What do you mean?
Yeah.
But this is, I think everyone should sign a petition to get Cassidy to watch The Hills.
I genuinely am considering watching The Hills. I am not a huge reality TV fan, but I love Spencer and Heidi so much, and every clip I see of them from that show is so freaking funny.
Well, okay, the thing is like
and Heidi, I love your music.
Yeah, go stream Heidi's music.
Dude,
help them.
Go harder goes hard. Okay.
We love them and we want you to help them. So go stream Heidi Pratt's music. Okay.
Yes.
But no, I really you guys know, I've been literally begging Cassidy to watch reality television for years now. And she's just not interested. She's like, I don't want to do it. I hate everybody on reality TV. She doesn't hate Spencer and Heidi.
Not Spidey.
I learned that. Yes,
I learned that recently.
The only thing you do have to realize is going into The Hills, which honestly might not affect you now because like back in the day, everyone was like so against them. Like, oh my God, they're evil. They're the villains. But then now we know now that they were literally like, okay, the producers want us to be crazy. So we're going to act crazy because we want to make good TV and we want to make money.
Yeah. And they're both so funny. It does not shock me
that they did ridiculous things.
Well, so did Lauren. Is that her name? Every clip I've seen of Lauren talking to Heidi, I'm like, wow, you are the meanest person in the world.
You know what they say? She might have been the true villain all along.
And where's she?
Even in Laguna Beach.
All I know is she makes jeans.
I do like them.
I actually do have a pair of her sweatpants.
They're really good
those
jeans.
Pink sweatpants that I used to wear all the time before I got my new green ones. So I go through I just only have one pair of sweatpants at a time, basically. And that's all I wear.
I actively wear Lauren Conrad jeans. Yeah. I do like them. But she might have been the villain.
We don't know. Who am I to say?
The whole time. I mean, she literally had a problem with everybody. Like in Laguna Beach, it was like she was always against somebody. Like her and Kristen Cavallari were like enemies, or her and whoever were enemies. Like every single person had a problem with her. And then she becomes best friends with Heidi in The Hills. And then immediately she turns on Heidi.
Honestly, the person who is always like the victim, quote unquote, in situations is usually the villain.
Yeah. And that was her.
That's something I've learned. Like if somebody is constantly having like all their like some friend mad at them or some family member mad at them or whatever, like you're usually the problem.
Yeah.
For sure.
And that was 100% her. Like it was always like Lauren versus somebody.
Always something.
Yeah.
Which I get. It's like reality TV. So I'm sure they also
they were trying
that.
to make her the star of everything. Like that's why she got the Hill spinoff.
Got it.
Because they were following her.
Oh, okay. So those shows are connected.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know that.
So it's Laguna Beach. They're in high school. And then they follow Lauren to Hollywood.
They were following around high school kids?
Yes, that was high school.
That is.
And Kristen Cavallari was the youngest of them all.
I don't know who that is. Oh, that's the one who dated the Montana boy.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I was like, I know that name, but I don't know.
She was like, they were all like juniors and seniors, and she was like a freshman and a sophomore.
That's like honestly actually really creepy and weird that they were following around. And like adults were probably watching it.
I mean, luckily I was really young.
Yeah.
I was like 13.
They're so old.
Yeah.
That's like beyond. That's like super creepy.
No, is that crazy?
Yeah, I don't like that one bit. No.
And then they followed Lauren to college in high school in Hollywood.
Got it. That's the Hills.
And that's when it was the Hills.
Okay.
She was in the Hollywood Hills.
That like gives me the same ick as when teenagers like in high school go viral online and are like influencers in high school. I'm like, ew, because it's mostly adults looking at their shit.
Just genuinely like, okay, you know those TikToks that I know you've seen them before where it's like nostalgia like videos and it's like, oh, high school prom in 2007 and it's just like kids like dancing.
Yeah, I actually mostly see those on Twitter, but yes, I do know.
And people are like, look at that, not a cell phone in sight. I'm like, that's the era that we grew up in.
Yeah, we all had flip phones and you'd put it in your bra.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even think I like looked at my cell phone 1 second during prom.
Well, there was no reason to look at your cell phone because the pictures it took were shit.
Yeah.
So you didn't even want to take pictures with it. And also, everybody that would be texting you were there.
And then it made me think like what a prom today would look like. Everybody's sitting down on their phone.
No, I think it's a lot of people videoing on their phones, like that kind of stuff. I don't know. Actually, like Gen Z apparently is very trying to get away from that. That's a very like millennial thing, actually, to be like at a concert and you can't stop videoing and taking pictures and stuff and be in the moment. Jesus. Yeah. I like when I go to an event, I limit myself. I'm allowed to take like 2 or 3 videos and like a couple photos if nothing's going on, right? Like I went to the Raiders game, I have 3 videos and like 3 pictures.
Yeah. I always say like I'm gonna take like my favorite songs that I've like heard 100 times, like when I go to a concert, like obviously the Jonas Brothers.
Yeah, but like how often do you like look back at that and actually watch it?
A lot.
Oh, really? Yeah. Okay. Well, that's
But I mean, think about it. A 2-hour concert, I'm videoing 4 songs. That's not a lot.
No, it's just
there's like 25 songs.
Funny to me because so you do that every single time you go. So well, how do you choose which concert to watch if you're rewatching them?
I video different songs.
Okay, and you actually rewatch these? Oh, you're so embarrassing. Yeah, that's really embarrassing.
Okay,
that's pretty.
You can shame me for that one
because the sound quality is not good. Just listen to it, or just watch it on YouTube.
Because I watch it and I remember how I felt in the moment. I get all like, "Oh, that was fun." You don't watch back videos of like things and you're like, "That was so fun."
No. I don't. I really don't.
I watch back videos of like you and I doing things and I'm like, oh my God, that was so fun.
Oh, I don't do that.
Oh. Sorry that I like to remember good times.
I just remember them in my brain.
Well, I don't.
Okay.
I have a bad memory. Okay.
Because I feel like that's the thing people always say. They're like, don't waste your time videoing a whole concert or a whole whatever.
Well, yeah,
like,
a whole
just
concert.
Be
absolutely.
in the moment because how often are you going to look back at it? Most people don't. That's why I'm shocked that you said, oh, all the time.
I do. I know. That's really weird.
It is embarrassing. Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. It's fine. You already admitted it.
I did.
The fans at home. There's gonna be at least 3 or 4 weirdos that'll be like, Amanda, I do that too.
I hope there's more than 3 or 4. Come forward, all of you, please. I won't shame you. I will be here with you.
Don't message me about it because I don't want to hear your freaky little thoughts.
Yeah. Don't message her. Message me.
Yeah, but I think honestly, I like more and more events are doing the thing where you have to put your phone in a little bag. I love that.
I've been to a lot of comedy shows like that.
Yeah, I think they should do that at concerts too.
Yeah.
Because the most annoying thing is when you're at a concert or a movie or a show or something, and there's someone in front of you videoing and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, no, that's annoying.
It's so annoying. And I'm like, I just think you should have to be forced to live in the moment and not be able to take your phone out.
I mean, living in the moment is nice.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
That's why I love being on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't get any notifications. It's awesome.
I just like have this, I don't know. I know we've mentioned it before, but I just have this like weird.
You have an anxiety disorder.
I do.
You're about to describe exactly what an anxiety disorder is. I'm afraid if I turn my phone off that everybody I've ever known is going to die and they're not going to be able to call me. That's what you're about to say, right? Yep. That's what I thought. Yeah. Do you want to know what helps get rid of that? Because I used to have that too, where I would like sleep with my ringer on and then people would text me in the middle of the night and would wake me up. You have to just start doing it. And then you realize, oh, people don't die every time I turn my phone on Do Not Disturb.
Well, if somebody dies, if I do this, Cassidy,
guess what? They would still be dead.
It better be you, because I will kill you.
They would still be dead. Either way, that's what I'll tell you. Whether or not you heard about it in 2 minutes or 10 minutes, they'd still be dead. Would make no difference whatsoever.
You're right.
I would say the only people that should probably keep their phone on all the time are like surgeons, on-call surgeons.
That's fair. That's fair.
Grey's Anatomy style.
Grey's Anatomy style.
Speaking of which, we're covering the Anatomy of Lies, or a lie. Is it a lie or
I think
lies?
It's Anatomy of Lies.
Anatomy of Lies, which is the lady who faked having cancer and worked for Grey's Anatomy documentary. We're covering that on Patreon right now if you guys are interested.
Yeah. Whew.
It's a doozy.
It is a doozy.
Also, you can listen to us talk about Grey's Anatomy for like 20 minutes.
I mean, yeah. Love Grey's Anatomy.
Love it. Love it. Big fan.
But yeah, unless you're McDreamy, McSteamy, Meredith Grey, yeah, you don't need your phone on.
You can probably have your phone on Do Not Disturb.
Yeah. Yeah. Because what do I need in the middle of the night? I mean, I go to bed at 9 p.m. and then I wake up to 700 text messages from Cassidy telling me she watched Wicked.
I did watch Wicked.
And had a whole slew of emotions and thoughts about it.
Well, I had a lot of thoughts.
I know.
I didn't even watch it that late. It was like 10:30.
The last text I got from you was at like 1:30 a.m.
The movie is really long.
It is long.
So that's once again when I started at like 10:30.
That's
no,
fair.
I liked it. I thought it was fine. I thought it was good.
I know. I'm incredibly shook to my core about it.
I'm just like confused because so I watched it. I liked it. I thought it was good. It's a musical. I realized that the thing I find corny about musicals is the dancing. I cannot stand the dancing.
That's fair.
It's just so off-putting.
Unfortunately, it is imperative.
Well, no, that is not true because my favorite musical, they don't dance at all.
What, Jesus Christ Superstar?
Yeah, they really don't dance very much. There's a lot of running through the desert.
You just did like a jazz hand though.
Yeah, there's one part where he like is running, and he's like, Jesus, like that. But that's about it. But there's not like choreographed fucking pop, drop, and lock it like it's High School Musical.
Love High School Musical. Dancing through life, like you have to dance. You're dancing through life.
That was probably the most fine dancing.
Okay, I'm accepting everything.
The
you're
other
saying,
dancing was the things that I didn't like.
You don't even understand how incredibly thrilled I am that you even have the gall to say it was a fine movie.
Well, because I mean, I love movies, and I like. Here's the thing: that girl,
Cynthia Erivo,
she is so talented.
She's so talented.
Oh my god!
I'm sorry. Like
the other one, not so much.
Agree to disagree.
Ariana Grande, I think she's a wonderful singer. I think she's got a great voice. I think she has no magnetism. Like when she's on screen, I'm not like, oh my god. But like when Cynthia Erivo was on screen, you're like, you can't look away from her.
I'm sorry.
She's wonderful.
When
she's talented, she's singing like crazy.
Her voice, like
she's a good actress.
Yeah, no, she's fantastic. She's literally fantastic.
Yeah,
like she's fantastic. When she does that, I can't. The one thing that always gets me when she sings "I'm Not That Girl," when she's like singing about Fiyero because she's in love with him.
Oh yes,
and she does that one run.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No, I mean her voice
sends shivers down my spine.
Because I've seen stuff about it that she sang all of that live.
Yeah.
That is so impressive.
She was literally in a harness flipping through the air.
Oh yeah.
Singing Defying Gravity live.
That's what made me watch the movie.
Oh my gosh.
I'm not joking. That's literally like I saw her do that and I was like, that is skill that I can't even like comprehend. I need to see this.
Yeah.
But I'm obviously not going to just watch the culmination of the movie. You have to watch the whole, or like, you know, the culminating part of the movie. You have to watch the whole thing. So I watched the whole movie. And once again, like I liked it. I thought she was really talented. She was the best part, I thought, to me.
I'm not even gonna argue. I'm happy. And then they were nominated against that one musical.
Oh, don't even get me started on Penis and Vagina.
I literally can't even.
Amelia Perez,
which that won all of the Golden Globes for like best musical and best this and best. I'm like, what the fuck was that? What was that? I need someone to actually tell me what that was.
No, yeah. I haven't watched the movie yet, so I'm like, maybe there's like an inside joke I'm not getting. But then all of my, and you know, people that I follow that are trans or Mexican have all said this is the most offensive thing ever. So I'm like, I'm not going to waste my time on it.
No.
If the people that it's supposed to be like about are already saying that it's no good.
Every single thing I've seen on TikTok or anything has been people being like, this is the worst thing I've ever seen.
Who won the Golden Globes for best actor and actresses? Do you know?
I'm pretty sure Zoe Saldana won.
Yes,
for that did. For Amelia Perez.
Yes, which is so crazy to me.
Crazy.
I know The Brutalist. I haven't seen that one, but that one for best drama.
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know a lot of the movies that are usually up.
Oh, Kieran Culkin won best supporting.
Him. We love him.
He's so talented. He's another one. It's just
He's
like
very talented.
Crazy. Challengers won for best original score.
Ooh, that's a good win.
Oh, Trent Reznor, obviously, and Atticus Ross. They're amazing. They also did Gone Girl.
Okay. Yeah, Challengers had an amazing score.
Yeah, I haven't seen The Brutalist. A Different Man is amazing.
Never heard of it.
Oh my gosh.
I've literally never heard of half of the movies. Do you know what show I actually do want you to watch that I think you would like?
What?
Oh my gosh, it's Jake Gyllenhaal, who you love.
I love him.
Oh my gosh, what is it called?
He was at the Golden Globes. That's probably why, because he's in some show.
It was so good. I think you would really like it. Oh my god, what the fuck was it called? Jake Gyllenhaal TV show. Presumed Innocent.
Oh, I've heard about this show.
I think you would like that one.
I have no idea what it's about, but I've heard people talk about it and that it's really
that
good.
one was really good.
Okay.
Highly recommend.
Yeah, I've been watching because I've been doing too much stuff recently. So anytime I'm home, I'm just like planted, right? Like just on the couch, movies and TV. And so I've watched a lot of movies and a lot of television recently.
Oh no.
No, it's great. I'm not complaining at all. It's my favorite time of day is when I get to sit. And sometimes it's all day. I don't know.
You never know.
Anything could happen.
It's crazy.
I need to have a conversation with you people. And you can't blame COVID and you can't blame the writer strikes because it's been like this for like the last 10 years. TV shows like on TV, like Grey's Anatomy, whatever, they have a fucking season every single year with fucking 25 episodes.
Yeah.
And they crank that shit out and it's good and I love it. Why the hell is it taking you bitches 3 years to make a second season of a show with like 8 episodes?
Yeah.
Like, what are you up to over there?
Yeah.
Why are you so bad at this? And it makes me forget everything that I've seen before. And then it makes me not watch the show anymore. It happened with Ozark, which I loved, right? I didn't start Ozark until there was like already 2 seasons. And then I binged it all. And then now they're like releasing new seasons. And I'm like, nah. Because I forgot everything. I've watched 8,000 other shows since then.
Yeah.
I hate it. Like, why? I don't understand why streaming services do this. It's so stupid.
Pump out the content.
I know you guys have the money. I mean, know you have the resources.
3 years from season 1 to season 2 is insane.
No, that's like actually fucking stupid.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's like the actors have like actively aged.
Yeah. Like, I'm sorry, to go from like 47 to 50.
Yeah.
I'm just making up ages. But like, come on.
No, that's ridiculous. Unless it's like 3 years later.
3 years
go into
later.
the next season. That's like, they're making a new season of Euphoria right now.
I was just thinking of Euphoria.
All those bitches are like 30 now. What are you talking about?
I mean, like when they started, they were like 19, 20. Why has it been so long?
Are they still in high school? Like, geez, Louise.
I don't even know. I couldn't even tell you.
It's literally crazy.
Yeah. How long ago did that show come out?
I just don't, like, what are we doing here as a society?
I don't know. I don't know.
TV seasons used to mean something.
Yeah. Come on, people.
We live in a society
where TV shows just stopped meaning things.
They stopped meaning things. Do you want to hear?
I do. Whatever you're about to say, I'm already ready.
Crazy story.
Yeah.
That you were like kind of partially involved in. Just you were in the group chat when I was freaking out about it.
What?
So, okay. So I went to go visit my little brother for his birthday and flew to Arizona. And my flight originally was at like 12:45, like in the afternoon.
Oh.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I have this flight 12:45 in the afternoon. The night before, bunch of football games on. So me and my boyfriend go out to go watch the football games. I get my first drink in my hand and I get a text, your flight has been canceled. And I was like, what the heck are we doing here?
Wait, I do not remember. Maybe I was I asleep?
There's so much to the story.
Okay.
So I'm looking at this like, is this spam? Am I being tricked? Like, what's going on here? So I'm looking at my phone. I'm like, what the heck? And I tell my boyfriend, I'm like, they canceled my flight and they're saying they're going to try to rebook me on a different flight, or they're just going to give me a credit, like a travel credit. But like the whole point is I'm only going for 2 days and it's for specifically my little brother's birthday. So that doesn't exactly help me. So eventually I just go on the website and I have to rebook my flight. There's only 2 other flights available. One of them is at 9 p.m. and the other one is at 8:45 a.m. I am not a morning person, as you guys know. So I have no choice. I just have to book the 8:45 flight, 8:45 in the morning. And I'm like, well, this is going to suck. I'm probably going to be like tired or whatever because we're out drinking and eating and whatever, watching the game.
This makes so much sense because when you texted me the next morning, I was like, I could have sworn you told me your flight was at noon.
Oh, yeah. No, my flight got canceled.
This makes
I had
so
to
much sense.
reschedule.
I missed that whole part.
So do that. I end up getting home around like 1, eat some food, plug my phone in, set my alarm for 6:30 the next morning, cozy up in bed. honk shoe for a few hours, and then wake up at 5 a.m., look at my phone, see that it says 5 a.m., and I specifically remember thinking, fuck yeah, I have another hour and a half to sleep.
Oh, boy.
Right? Roll over, feels like a second, and my boyfriend is shaking me awake and goes, babe, what time is your flight? And I go, oh, not till 8:45. And he goes, it's 8 a.m. right now.
No.
This very second, it is 8 a.m. And I catapult out of bed at a speed you would not be able to humanly fathom. Like only dogs could hear. It's like a dog whistle shoot out of bed. I look at my phone. Sure enough, it is 8:01 a.m. And I think I'm not going to make it.
No.
There's no chance I'm going to make it. But I check Uber. It says an Uber's 4 minutes away. I order the Uber. I walk over. It's enough time to brush my teeth, try to throw a few last things into my bag. And I get my Uber in my pajamas still. And it says that the arrival time to the airport is 8:25. And that is the time that my flight starts boarding.
Perfect.
Get to the airport at 8:25-ish. Get out. Go look at security. There's only a few people in security line. I'm like, hell yeah, go into security, walk through the thing. I've been randomly selected.
Of course you
have.
For
a pat down.
Because you are on a watch list.
They were really into looking inside of my hair. Like a lot. It kept making me move it around and lift it and stuff.
They're like, what is in there?
What secrets do you have in there?
Lady, I know you have something hiding in there.
And they had to they asked me like, do you want to go to a room and do this privately? Like I'm going to have to touch your breasts and whatever. And I was like, nope, we're fucking doing it here because I am in a rush.
I mean, I don't blame them.
I put my hands
I also
up.
would have been like, I'm going to touch your breasts.
They feel me up and whatever, make me flip around a bunch of times and whatever. And then let me go. And I literally walk into where my gate is and then walk directly onto the plane. And I'm like the third last person on the plane. Somehow made a flight, waking up at 8 a.m. and we took off at 8:50.
Insane.
Who else but me?
I don't know.
That's what we call luck, baby.
And when you get to Arizona, you're like disheveled.
Oh, I was a mess. It like actually disoriented me for the whole day. You know, when you get like startled out of sleep,
yeah,
it kind of just makes you feel like you're high or drunk or something because you're just like on autopilot almost. until like 6 p.m. that night was so out of it and confused and disoriented. And then my dumb ass was like, I should have a coffee on this flight. And I drank a hot black coffee on the plane.
No, why would you ever?
Because I was like, I'm turning over a new leaf. I'm gonna be an adult. I gotta get this hot black coffee in me.
No.
Yeah. But I made it. Isn't that crazy?
You did make it. You made it, and you made it back home.
Made it back home.
And here you are.
And now here I am.
Thank the Lord.
Better than ever.
Hallelujah. Praise be to God.
Praise be to God. Oh, yeah. Big
No, that's crazy.
Big week for me. Well, how about we welcome our new patrons?
Oh, yes. Let's welcome some new patrons.
All right. So thank you guys so much for joining our Patreon. And we would like to say welcome to Caitlin S.
Hello, Caitlin.
Welcome to Jennifer L.
Hello, Jennifer.
And welcome to Mitch.
Hello, Mitch.
Thank you guys so much for joining our Patreon. We do have a new series that we are covering, which is the Anatomy of Lies, the Grey's Anatomy scandal. And it's very good. Go check it out.
Wild. Yeah.
And we'll have a shot of Kool-Aid coming your way and a couple other bonus features there on Patreon. We basically only get to do this podcast because of Patreon and viewers like you. So thank you so much. And we really appreciate you. And we dig you guys so much.
We do.
We also had some people who bought us some beers.
Do
this
we?
Week. First one is Mary E.
Hi, Mary.
And Mary said, hi, Cassidy and Amanda. Today, January 6th, LOL, is my birthday. So please enjoy a drink on me. I had a rough Christmas since I had the flu like Cassidy, and I was on crutches since I dislocated my kneecap. Oh, that sounds painful as hell.
That sounds really painful.
But your podcast got me through it. Thanks for always keeping me laughing. Thank you, Mary.
Thank you, Mary.
I have been sick for seriously like 3 months. It sucks. Every part of me hurts all the time.
You really have, yeah.
And then Christy Kroll bought us quite a few beers. And said, never in my adult years have I been in a position where I can give holiday gifts without struggling. But this year, after a promotion and a holiday bonus, I finally got to do so. So I'm spreading it out across all of the people who make this life a whole lot lighter. Because of those people, I already have everything I need. Happy New Year. If you ever find yourself in Philly, you always have a place with me. Thank you, Christy. And congratulations on your promotion and your holiday bonus. That's super exciting. That's some like grown-up shit right there.
That is so true. I think about it all the time, and I'm like, because every year since I moved out here, since I was 21, I like get a little bit more like financially better like every single year.
Yeah.
And I just like, I was talking to my husband about it. I'm like, isn't it so nice that like we can afford things? Because he was like, oh, are we gonna throw out the Christmas tree this year? Because I was saying I wanted to throw it out because it was like broken.
Oh,
and I was
you
like,
want a new one?
Yeah, and I was like, you know what? We can throw it out because I am financially stable enough to buy a new Christmas tree.
I can buy a $150 new Christmas tree.
I can next year because I've had that Christmas tree for 5 years, and I can buy a new one now.
I'm proud of you.
I know, it's pretty exciting. So I'm with you, Christy.
And thank you to Jenny Nicole, who bought us some beers and said, hey, y'all, my birthday is January 14th, and I wanted to send this so that you can celebrate with me. Yes. You two are the best, and wishing you both an amazing 2025. Oh
my goodness. Thank you.
You're the best.
Happy birthday.
Thank you, and happy birthday.
I also have a birthday shout out.
Please lay it on me.
You saw our Patreon messages.
Yes.
But we had a cutie little husband reach out to us.
Our favorite.
I know. And Kyle wants us to give a big happy 30th birthday to his wife, Sharky. That is the Patreon name. So happy birthday, Sharky.
Happy birthday.
Love you.
We love you.
And we love you, Kyle.
Yes.
So
thank you.
Thank you.
Couples who listen together
stay together.
Usually.
Sometimes they don't.
Don't sue me.
But we still love you no matter what.
But yeah, happy birthday. We are so happy that all of these beautiful little Capricorns are celebrating their time on Earth.
Is it Capricorn season?
It is.
Okay. I don't know much about Capricorns. Do you?
They're an Earth sign. I dated a Capricorn for like 6 years.
Oh,
so
he was a Capricorn.
They're very money motivated, typically. Very very just motivated people in general.
That's good.
Really organized. Driven, I feel like is the word.
Okay.
A little stubborn, still an earth sign, you know what I mean? Doesn't love change.
Okay.
Negative qualities, they can be a little controlling, you know, because they are so driven and so like particular.
And earth grounded.
Yeah, particular I feel like is a good word about Capricorns.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Like
Capricorns.
My other Amanda is a Capricorn. I believe.
Is she?
Yeah. So, you know, just like organized.
When's her birthday?
Put together. Tomorrow.
Shut up.
I think.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Amanda. We love you.
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday, Amanda. She listens too.
What the heck?
I didn't even think about it. Yeah.
Happy birthday. Wow.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Amazing.
Well, on that note, how about we get started?
Let's get started.
Let's friggin' do it. So today I'm going to be talking about the very mysterious case of Naoyuki Kanno.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
My sources today were a video on YouTube by a channel called Detective X that had a lot of like visuals to help explain this story. There was a Japanese website called seesawwiki.com. Well, it was like a bunch of stuff. I don't know. I had to translate it literally from Japanese. It was a lot happening. Ranker.
Your favorite website?
Yes. There was a Reddit user, YCNG1, who compiled a lot of sources together. Like that helped me just like figure stuff out. And of course, Wikipedia.
Okay, I'm really excited. I don't know what this is.
Yes. Hopefully, I don't know why I was like convinced we already covered it. I'm like, I must have listened to a different podcast cover it at one point because I like feel like I remember listening to someone talk about it, but it was forever ago. So I don't know. We'll see.
Did you look it up on our?
Nope. Oh, so we'll see.
Okay.
All right. So this story takes place, or this, not even a story, this event takes place in Miyakoji, which is a village in the Tamura district of Japan. It's outside of or inside of Fukushima. I'm not really sure if that's like the state. I don't know how Japanese geography works, to be honest with you. All right. So it is 1989 on February the 28th. And there is a school teacher who is leaving work at around 6 in the evening. Most of the sources I read just referred to her as the school teacher. There was one source I saw that called her Yumi, but I'm not sure. So don't quote me on that. I'm just going to call her the school teacher.
Okay.
Because I'm not sure. So it's winter, obviously. It's very cold outside. And she's kind of like hustling back to her dormitory because there was a on-site living facility for young teachers at the school.
Okay.
And when I say village, like this is really like a village. Like everybody knows each other. It's like super, super small. And these dormitories were where most of the young teachers lived because they're unmarried and stuff like that. She had a single room with like an attached bathroom, right? Kind of like if you've ever lived in a dorm. And she heads into her room, takes off her coat, and immediately goes into the bathroom. She's got to pee super bad.
Story of my life.
Yeah. The way her toilet was set up was a squatting toilet. So that's like very popular in Japan. So basically, you have to like squat to go to the bathroom, which apparently is like the natural way we're supposed to go to the bathroom. That's like where like squatty potties and stuff exist.
I'm sorry, I can't squat.
Well, then maybe avoid Asia.
I try to squat, but like I would rather just sit.
Yeah, it's why we all have hemorrhoids here.
I do all the time. You guys know I do. I tell you.
She can't keep it to herself.
I can't.
She's hemorrhoid raging.
I'm hemorrhoid Amanda. Just call me that from now on.
So she walks over to the toilet, which is a squat toilet, like I said, and she just happens to like look down into the toilet, and she notices something strange in there.
It's not Australian toilet money, is it?
No.
You're doing two toilet
stories in a row. I didn't even realize that. What is wrong with me? I'm a sick-minded individual. Horrifying.
You got toilet on the brain.
I got a potty mouth. So the way that this toilet was set up was the squatting toilet. There's obviously like a little hole. It's on the ground, right? So you literally have to like squat over it to pee or poop into it. And then
okay. It's a hole in the ground?
It's like it kind of looks like if you like laid a urinal down on the ground.
Okay.
Yeah. You could probably Google like squatting toilet and it would show you. I
don't like the sound of this.
And then there's like a pipe down into like a septic tank, basically, that is underneath the toilet.
Okay.
Are you looking at photos of squatting toilets?
You said this was Japan, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it looks like a urinal laying down on the ground.
Yes. So you like squat over it and go to the bathroom in it and whatever.
I hate that.
So she looks kind of into the toilet. And this one, like I said, is back in the 80s. And so like that one, like that you just looked up like flushes and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This one kind of just was more like a porta potty hole type thing down into a septic tank.
Okay.
So she looks down into the toilet and she sees what looks like a man's shoe in the toilet.
Okay.
And she's like, that's so strange. Like, why would there be a shoe in my private toilet? So, of course, she's like, okay, I need to investigate what's going on here.
I wouldn't.
And the way that the toilet worked is it was kind of a U shape where like the toilet and then there's the tank. And then on the outside of the building, there's a little, you can open like a hatch and see down into the septic tank.
Okay. She's like, I gotta go on the outside of the building and open this hatch.
Well, she's just confused why there would be a shoe in her toilet. So she's wondering if somebody had opened the hatch and like thrown a bunch of like stuff down into her septic tank.
Okay.
So she goes out, she opens the lid, and she is extremely shocked when she sees a human leg.
This is, don't investigate.
Down in the waist.
I would let it be.
Well, she does not do that, thank God. And she runs off and tells the principal of the school and anyone who will listen, like, hey, I think there might be a person down in my septic tank under my toilet.
Oh my God.
Of course, somebody runs off and also tells the police, grabs the police, and they also show up on the scene. When the police get there, they are very confused because the entrance to this septic tank is about 14 inches, so 2 feet, which is much smaller than the average person's shoulder width.
Yeah.
To be able to like wiggle down into this little hole. But they realize they have to get this body out to see who this person was. Maybe it might be dismembered parts, like they don't know, right? At first, they try to just grab onto the legs and pull the person out, but literally it's too skinny. They can't get them out. So they end up having to excavate the entire septic tank and cut it in half to pull the body out.
Oh.
So they pull the body out and the body was bent almost in like a fetal position with its hands crossed over his chest, and he was hugging a neatly folded shirt. So only wearing pants, no shirt, holding the shirt but it's folded on his chest with his hands crossing it.
And the body is like fully intact.
Yes, fully intact.
Okay.
He seemed to be lying on his back with his face looking up towards where the toilet hole would be. And for some reason, his shoe was behind his head. That's what she had seen when she looked down into the toilet.
Okay.
He was topless and barefoot, obviously. So they have to clean this body off. It's covered in excrement, so human feces and also urine. They end up having to clean the body twice because the smell was so rancid and intense that before they could perform an autopsy, they needed to get the body as clean as possible. But there was just like so much human feces.
Okay.
And as they start to clean off the body, there's like people in this village who are coming around to like looky-loo, and they recognize who this person is.
Oh my gosh.
And it is a 26-year-old Naoyuki Kanno, who was very well known in the village. He had actually recently been working with a local politician, trying to get him elected. He was known as a very eloquent speaker. He was well liked and respected in the community. And so it was very shocking to see him found in this situation. So it turns out that Naoyuki had actually been missing since February 24th and was found dead inside of the septic tank on February 28th. They didn't know for sure at first because he was not reported missing until the 26th.
Okay.
But it was because he was 26 years old. He did live with his parents still, and he had told them he was going to go out on his day off and like do a bunch of errands and stuff, and that he was going to go meet up with his friends later that night to like go get a drink or whatever. So when he didn't come home the first day, they were like, oh, he probably was just out with his friends, drank too much, stayed at somebody else's house, or like is having fun, or is just busy. He's an adult. It's not like when your 16-year-old doesn't come home, you know, he's grown up. He has a job. He works at a nuclear power plant. There's like a lot of stuff going on here, right? Okay. So they're like, they didn't report him missing right away, but the last time he had been seen was the 24th. Okay. So an autopsy is done on the body, and there seems to be no evidence of foul play. There were some minor scratches on his elbows and knees, but no other signs of trauma or of homicide that could have taken place.
But how would he have squeezed his body into that tiny...
That is a great question.
Yeah.
The coroner did find that he most likely died on the 26th, so 2 days before he was found. The police did an investigation, and they pretty quickly came upon the opinion that this was an accidental death and that he had been trying to peep on the teacher while she was going to the bathroom and had died from hypothermia and circulation issues because he was like so cramped in that situation, that he died from circulation issues and hypothermia when he was trying to basically look up the toilet at this woman going to the bathroom.
Okay. I don't know anything about this man.
Yeah.
But the thought of somebody opening a hatch.
Yes.
Somehow jamming their body into this 2-foot wide pipe.
Yes.
And shimmying up it doesn't sound like you could do anything else if you wanted to peep on somebody.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Of course, when this came out, people in the village were confused and concerned. His parents and other villagers were outraged because they just were like, we know him. We knew him as very reliable, very upstanding. And like, as we know, that does not necessarily mean anything.
No.
But he had always been like a consistent employee at his company, which was a sales manager of a company that supported the nuclear power plants. And everybody in the village knew him to be like very sweet, very respectful, very normal. So to have him not only die in such a disgusting, horrifying way, but then also have the police's theory be that he was trying to peep while laying in
to watch a woman go to the bath. Like, that makes no sense.
Yeah. This was very, very upsetting for people. People did not like to hear it. And of course, you never want to hear bad news about someone that you love, especially after they've passed away and you don't get any other kind of information about it, right?
It's also just a really, really bizarre theory to me.
Yeah.
Like, that's going through too much.
So if you want to take a look in the email, you can see a diagram of both how his body was in the septic tank and the setup of the septic tank. It's a very small, very cramped area.
I don't even understand how his body could get into that.
Yeah. Yeah. So this will be on the YouTube and also on our Instagram, of course. And so basically, obviously, he could not have gone down the toilet. The toilet area was even smaller. It's only 20 centimeters.
Like, he would have had... Okay, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. And he would have had to been cramped into that position. He would have had to gone down the septic tank basically on his back head first to be able to achieve the position where his body was found. And also, why did he take his shirt off? And why was it so neatly folded against his chest when he knew he was going to be in a septic tank where he's going to be surrounded by piss and shit?
This is even strange. Like, the picture of how his body was is even more confusing to me.
Yes. Yeah. So his shoulder, like across his shoulders, the width of his shoulders was a little over 16 inches. And the diameter of the septic tank opening, like I said, was only 14.
Okay.
So it would be extremely difficult and also pretty immediately obvious that you would have to be jamming yourself down into this in an uncomfortable and horrible way.
And nothing was broken on him?
Nothing was broken. Like I said, he just had some light scrapes on his knees and on his elbows.
Like, you can't jam yourself into a hole that is smaller than you.
Yeah. And also the posture that he was in, like laying there kind of in like the fetal position, would have been extremely difficult to achieve based on the dimensions in this pipe.
Yeah, I'm really confused looking at this picture.
Yeah. Naoyuki's father actually tried to recreate this scenario with the actual septic tank that had been cut out of the ground, that had been excavated out of the ground. And he found personally it was impossible with or without clothing on to get into the pipe and in the position that he was found. So not only are we saying that this person was so desperate to see this lady's bits, to put himself in an extremely claustrophobic and disgusting scenario, but that he also would do it and not have any broken bones or anything like that.
No, very strange. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. And it gets even weirder when you find out that he was friends with the school teacher's boyfriend. They knew each other.
Okay.
And actually, Naoyuki had helped take down a stalker of the school teacher. Somebody was harassing her, calling her constantly on the phone, and him and the boyfriend worked together to get like a tape recording of it to give it to the police and to try and identify who was stalking her. So these people like knew each other decently well.
Okay. And the police, I'm assuming, ruled out that the stalker on the voice recording was him.
I'm assuming, yes.
Okay.
I mean, as far as like from what I read, it seemed like he was there when some of these calls were made.
Got it.
But the reason that that's important that he knew her is that he would have known that she was out of town until the 28th.
Okay.
So she had just gotten back into town. She had been visiting her family in her hometown. She had just gotten back into town on the 28th, the day where the body was found. And they think that he died on the 26th.
Right.
So if he knew she was going to be gone until the 28th, if he wanted to look up her skirt or whatever, why would he go down there 2 days earlier?
I'm sorry, that's the dumbest.
To lay in human excrement and be in this very confined space. Why would he do that 2 days before she was going to be home?
I also just think that's a really
or maybe even 4 days, because if he went down in there on the 24th and he was not, they said he died on the 26th.
Yeah.
That means he was planning on being down there for 4 days at least, just to get a little upskirt action.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Yeah.
I'm very confused.
Another thing that people look at and are confused about, how there were no traumatic injuries given the size of the pipe.
That's what I'm saying.
So whether or not he was forced down there or he went down there willingly, it seems almost impossible for him to get down there. And also, why was only one shoe found? So literally there was only one shoe found and it was behind his head, which also seems nearly impossible considering how he got down there, if he had gotten down there himself. And then where's his other shoe? I read in one article that there was a man's shoe found at like a creek, like a mile away. But then why the hell would his other shoe have been that far away from his body?
I mean, unless whoever killed him and stuffed him down there discarded it later on. But also I don't understand how the fuck his body could have gotten into that hole.
There's no cause of death.
Unless his like fucking clavicle was broken.
Yeah, no.
Like, I don't get it.
And there's no cause of death like that he would have been killed and then put down there.
So the cause of death was like
hypothermia and poor circulation, basically from being like cramped into the position.
So he was shoved down there alive.
He had to. I mean,
he was alive when he was down there.
Yes, that is what it appears to be. Yes,
I am bewildered at how he got down there.
It is very confusing
because, I mean, I have wide fucking shoulders. I couldn't fucking get through a 2-foot hole.
Yeah. I mean, he was a little dude. He was only like 5'7" or whatever. But he, like I said, like he measured across over 16 inches.
I'm 5'7".
Yeah. And like he measured across his shoulders over 16 inches and the hole was only 14 inches.
Yeah.
And I understand you can like hunch and like whatever, right? To like get into smaller places.
But then once you're in the hole, right? Like even if you have like that 1 inch, once you're in the hole, you're not going to fucking shimmy your body. You're not. Yeah. You can't. Yeah. I'm sorry.
And he had to get down 60 centimeters to be able to get into the larger part of the septic tank. And even that is very small. Like he had to have been curled up to even fit in there. And there's shit and piss and other stuff in there.
And then, I'm sorry, he took his shirt off to get to shimmy down the pipe. And then how did he fold it neatly?
And had it with his, arms crossed.
How would that even happen?
All very confusing. And even weirder, his car was found parked in a lot near the dorms. His keys were still in the ignition and his door was unlocked, which led, people who don't believe the police's theory to think that he was not planning on being there very long and he was just meeting someone really quick or stopping by somewhere really quickly, because why else would he leave his keys in the ignition and his car unlocked?
Where's the boyfriend?
I don't know.
They never mention him?
No.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, she was back in her hometown from the 24th to the night of the 27th. And then she discovered his body on the 28th. So like once again, like this is very strange. And the last time he was seen was at 10 in the morning on the 24th by his dad. He was like, hey, I'm going to go run some errands. I'm going to go out with some friends tonight. See you later. And his dad was like, bye.
Because I'm just feeling like, oh, who had access to her apartment? Probably her boyfriend.
Yeah.
And was friends with him.
Well, but the septic tank entrance was on the outside of the dormitory.
What if they pushed him in through the toilet?
The toilet's even smaller, 20 centimeters.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
It's so, I don't even think his head would fit through that.
That's true. I am seeing that here, yes.
Yeah. Because that was the thing. They were like, he had to have come in through this side.
It doesn't make any sense, Cassidy.
It doesn't make any sense.
There's no way. How big is my head across? I don't even know.
Somebody bring out the tape measure. You got a little head. I got a big ass head. Believe me, I know. Every time I watch one of these fucking video episodes, I'm like, somebody shrink my giant ass noggin. Jeez Louise. But yeah, so that like all of it is confusing. If he knew that she was going to be out of town, because everyone's like, okay, he would have known, because once again, small town, him and the boyfriend were relatively good friends.
Well, they had to have been really good friends if he was the one
helping him. Yeah. And then the car is right there. Like, it's all very confusing. But there are obviously some conspiracy theories, or not even conspiracy, just some theories that are different than what the police came to.
Okay, well, let's hear them.
So some people think that the teacher is the one who murdered him.
Okay, and why?
Maybe they were having an affair, or he had come on to her, or something had happened and she had killed him and put him down there. Because some people thought it was strange that she even would see the shoe down at the bottom of the open septic tank.
Another thing I was thinking, because I'm like, they don't have a picture of the shoe in this diagram.
Yeah.
So I'm like, where was the shoe?
It was behind his head.
Yeah.
So that's
how would she have seen that?
Exactly. And people were like, it's kind of far and it's dark in there, obviously. And also, why, instead of calling the police or going to talk to a maintenance person, would she have just gone and opened the septic tank lid herself?
That is fucking weird.
To discover the body.
Yeah, that's fucking weird.
So some people think that maybe there was an accidental death and she put him down there, or maybe something happened between her and him and her and her boyfriend put him down there. And
I think the boyfriend's involved. I don't know why.
That's your theory. Another theory is, so a month before his death, there was an incident in the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power plant where a welded joint in a circulating pump gave way, and there was a massive meltdown basically, and they had to shut down reactor number 3. So the person who was in charge of this reactor was a coworker of Naoyuki's, and he actually ended up completing suicide not long after because of his involvement in this disaster.
Okay.
So some people think that maybe Naoyuki also could have been involved and he did this on purpose to take his own life. And then there's some other people, because 10 days before Naoyuki's death, there was an election for the village chief, and he had actually lobbied for one of the candidates. And the reason he had done that is, first of all, he was known to be an extremely charismatic and well-spoken guy, but he worked with nuclear power plants, and basically the two people who were going up against each other, one was anti-nuclear power plant and the other one was pro. And so he was speaking for the pro-nuclear power plant, supporting them. And so he goes out there, he ends up campaigning for this guy, and he ends up winning. Some people in the village were spreading rumors that Naoyuki might have accidentally uncovered a scandal, like a government scandal, or pissed off the wrong person, and then was killed, and his body was staged this way in an attempt to further embarrass him and discredit his name after death, because he was an instrumental part in this election win for the opposition. So they were like trying to make it seem like he was a peeping Tom, because that's like so embarrassing, right?
I don't know. Still the weirdest like thing to say. Oh, he really wanted to look up this girl's skirt, so he climbed into this fucking hole that is too small for him in pee and poo.
Yeah.
Just to get a glimpse of her vagina. Like, that's weird.
What I was like wishing I would find, and I was trying to and I couldn't, to see if there was any sort of like toxicology report done on him. Like, imagine if he was like really drunk or something, and was like, oh, I'm gonna crawl in here and look at her vagina, whatever, you know what I mean?
I don't think he could have fit in there.
Yeah, it's just all very strange.
Even regardless of him getting in there himself, I don't understand how someone could have put him in there
Gotten him in there, yeah,
without breaking something, without breaking a clavicle or like something up here. I just don't get it. I don't get how he could have fit in there.
Yeah. And then got into that position that he's in, where his legs are up and he's kind of in like a fetal position, but on his back.
Even if somebody shoved him down there, they would have had to have.
It would have been all haphazard.
Like, how would they have gotten him into that position? How would they have gotten his arms like crisscrossed with the
shirt?
With the shirt.
And why was his other shoe like miles away?
It just doesn't. I don't understand.
It literally feels like he just accidentally booped in there.
That's what I'm saying.
So weird. Yeah.
Like, it does not make sense that he or anyone else could have gotten him down there.
Yeah.
Like, physically pushed him down there. I don't get it.
Yeah. No, it's very weird. It's very weird. And like, once again, it was super cold. It's winter, and he was completely shirtless.
Yeah.
But he had his pants on
and no shoes.
But then one shoe was behind his head.
And like, how did that get there?
I don't know. So the official story from the police is that he had an accidental death from hypothermia after he crawled into the septic tank to be a peeping Tom. This was something, obviously, like I said, like the village and his parents completely do not accept. There is unfortunately a really bad like upskirt culture in Japan. I don't know if you know this, but on phones in Japan, you have to have the shutter noise on, because there's so many cases of people putting their phones under women's skirts and taking pictures.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
But once again, listen, I don't know this person. I don't know how far someone would go to look under someone's skirt.
Yeah.
But that just seems like a lot of work.
I agree. Yeah. And disgusting work.
Yeah. And also, once again, he knew her. He knew she was not even home.
Yeah, that's the part
So
to me.
I don't
like, if you really thought that you were going to do that, why would you do it 4 days before, like 3.5 days or whatever, before she was even going to be home? I wish I would have seen if there was a toxicology report, because if I could understand, not understand, but if somebody's like really, really drunk and
how would they have gotten in there?
I've always wanted to do this. You know what? This is such a good idea. I'm going to do this dumb, weird thing. And then he just contorted and smushed himself up as much as he could and shoved himself down there. And then by the time it was too late because he couldn't even turn around. There was not enough room in there for him to literally turn around to get back up the pipe. He literally physically couldn't have.
I mean, I guess if he was like a secret contortionist.
Well, just
or
I feel like
people go spelunking.
I was going to say people really can like smush themselves down.
Yeah,
you know
I
what
guess. I mean, you've covered stories of people in caving disasters that somehow fit through weird small holes.
Yeah.
So I guess that's possible. I don't know.
And allegedly he was like a pretty petite guy.
Yeah. But I don't know. It just seems so weird. Like, yeah, I'm going to sit in this pee and poo just to catch a glimpse up someone's skirt. Up my friend's girlfriend's skirt.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems weird.
Yeah. I mean, you'd have to be like a very sick individual, because you also obviously like the pee and poo is going to be all over you while you're down there, and then also when they go, that's what you're gonna be seeing, and it's gonna fall on you.
Which I don't know him. I don't know. Maybe he is. I don't know. But the whole way he was positioned, the shirt,
her being out of town to me is the weirdest part.
Yeah.
Where he was planning on being down there in the pee and poop for 3 days.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that is a story of like school teacher finding a man in her toilet.
Wow.
And Naoyuki Kanno remains a mystery.
That is.
Oh, so here's another picture of like the top of that's the pipe.
Can you imagine trying to fit yourself through that?
No, but I'm also super claustrophobic, and that's why I was
me too.
I wish there was some sort of
your one boob wouldn't even go in that.
Well, that's why I wish there was some sort of toxicology report.
Yeah.
Because I feel like that's when people do shit like that, because they're high or drunk and they think like, this is a good idea.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
For that wild ride that you took me on.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Your turn.
Today we're going to talk about a dude.
Okay.
Who's maybe an inspiration to us all.
Oh.
We shall see.
Okay.
And his name is Lawnchair Larry.
Oh. Okay, yes.
I needed some joy today.
Listen, I feel it. Yeah, Amanda literally tells me, I was going to cover this disappearance and whatever. And she's like, I literally I'm so consumed by the fires and stuff. Like, I can't do anything depressing.
I couldn't. I had a whole story like picked out and that I was like looking at and researching. And I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah, I do that. I mean, I do that all the time where I'm like, oh, my head is just, I can't. Yeah. I mean,
if you're in a certain like state of mind, it's just impossible. Yeah. So we're talking about Lawnchair Larry today.
That's right.
Okay.
You heard it here first.
My sources were planeandpilotmag.com, The New Yorker by George Plimpton, Medium.com by Andrew Scanston. I don't know how to say that last name.
You tried.
And I originally found this episode because I was watching Drunk History and I fucking love Drunk History.
Yeah, I love Drunk
and
History.
They covered this and it was too good.
I would be so good on Drunk History if only.
I am a moron and I think I'd be really good on Drunk History. Like, it'd be so funny.
Get us on there.
Is it still happening?
I don't know.
Oh, it would be so funny.
I want to be on Drunk History. I want to be on fucking Hot Ones. And guess what? I can barely be on my own YouTube channel.
So true. So you're right. I don't know where you're getting this wild hair up your ass.
I don't know either.
And then Wikipedia, of course.
Yes.
Okay.
Go
so Lawrence Richard Walters, aka Larry, he had always been fascinated by the sky and flying and just the idea of like things floating up there in the sky. This was always something he was interested in. When he was about 8 or 9 years old, his family took him to Disneyland. And when he walked in, he said the first thing that he saw was a lady standing right there on Main Street holding a, to quote him, a zillion Mickey Mouse balloons.
Yeah.
And he's like, wow, I bet if I could get enough of those giant balloons, I could get lifted straight up into the sky.
Why not, buddy?
How cool would that be?
Why not?
And that was like a pivotal moment in Larry's life where he was like, holy shit, I need to fly. Like, I need to be in the sky.
R.I.P. Lawnchair Larry, you would have loved Up.
You would have loved Up. Oh my, I love Up. So yeah, so that was like really a pivotal moment in Larry's life where he's like, get me up in the sky. I need to be up there. I need to like fly or something. And this is what developed his dream to become a pilot in the Air Force. So when Larry was about 13, he was in an Army naval surplus store and he's kind of just like bopping around and he sees these giant weather balloons hanging from the ceiling. And he's like, damn, fuck those Mickey Mouse pansy ass balloons that I saw when I was 8.
These things are way bigger.
If I'm going to somehow get up in the sky, these are the fucking suckers I'm going to use. Absolutely. Look at them.
Hell yeah, Larry.
So Larry was also really into science at school, and he had actually been working on a science project where he made his own hydrogen generators and inflated like these little balloons with it. And for this project, he was trying to see how long the hydrogen inside the balloons would keep them up in the sky before they came like floating back down.
This guy's a real one balloon trick pony, isn't he?
He really likes balloons.
Yeah,
okay.
Hyperfixation. Larry, I've got some news for you about autism.
Well, he's dead, so you wouldn't know.
R.I.P. Larry, you would have loved online autism tests.
You would have loved Up, and you would have loved these tests.
Yeah.
So he would attach notes to the balloons and send them up into the sky, and he would time out how long it took them to deflate and come back down. But unfortunately, the balloons never came down, or at least like they didn't come down anywhere near where he was to ever have seen them again. So he got a D on his project.
Wow.
Yeah, it's really sad.
R.I.P. Larry, you would have loved Apple AirTags.
But don't fret, guys. That did not deter young Larry to keep working towards his goal in life. So he would be sitting in his garage at his house. He's making his own rocket fuel. And every time he like tries to do something, it's always like blowing up on him or catching fire. And his mom is like, what are you doing, Larry? Like, she's very worried about his well-being, very concerned about where he's going in life.
Honestly, I get it. I've told this story on the podcast before. When you have kind of a smart, but you're still a kid, so you're dumb as shit, you just like accidentally create bombs.
Sometimes
that's
you
what
do.
We did.
I mean, I didn't, but like, that's just because I wasn't smart in school. But you did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after high school, Larry decides that he's going to go for his dream job of becoming a pilot in the Air Force. He's like so excited. So he has to go through like all the testing and stuff to even like be able to do that. And when he gets tested, they discovered that he had really bad eyesight.
Oh.
And they're like, Larry, buddy, you can't be a pilot in the Air Force with bad eyesight.
It's like when people find out that you can't be colorblind.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
And he's like, well, fuck. Like, that was my dream.
All I ever wanted.
What am I supposed to do now?
Yeah.
So Larry ends up becoming a truck driver, which to me is really funny that you can't like drive a plane with bad eyesight. But they're like, yeah, you can drive this like huge truck.
That would kill way more people.
On a highway where like cars are like way more dangerous and people get into way more accidents.
Babies in strollers and stuff.
Yeah. But it's fine. He could drive a truck. So now it's 1982. Larry is 33 years old. He's a trucker and he has this girlfriend named Carol, and he is a seemingly happy guy, but he just can't get the idea of flying out of his mind. He's like, this is my dream. And by golly, I'm going to accomplish my dream if it's the last thing I do.
Like a dog with a bone.
That's right. So Larry talks to Carol, his girlfriend, and he's like, babe, remember 10 years ago when we met and we started dating? But he's like, okay, babe. So like I told you about this dream I have of like flying and floating in the sky, right? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit in a chair and I'm going to attach balloons to it and float myself over the Mojave Desert. And she's like, no, you're not. And he's like, no, literally, this is my dream in life. So you're either with me or you're out.
Yeah, you better start supporting me.
So after a minute, Carol's like, okay, yeah, let's get you floating in the sky, babe. I love you. I support you. I will support anything you do.
He never just thought to try like hang gliding?
No, no. But he has the full support of his girlfriend. I mean, this is what I'm imagining that she's saying. She's like, baby, I love you so much. I'll do anything for you. I would die for you.
We're going to get you in that damn sky.
We're going to get you in that sky. But what she did, you know what she did actually say to him though?
Wear a helmet.
No. But she said, I want you to just like do this and get it over with and get it out of your system so you never bother me about this again.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
Wife material.
That right? Wife her up, Larry. So Carol ends up footing the bill for Larry's whole endeavor of what he wants to do.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah. So she's a little sugar mama.
The TikTok feminists would have a field day.
Rest
with this.
in peace, Larry. The TikTok feminists would hate you.
Would have hated you. It's okay. They hate me too.
Carol and Larry, they go to the military supply store and they are looking to buy 45 8-foot weather balloons. Unfortunately,
That is a lot.
that's a lot. But unfortunately, little did they know, you can't just go into like a military supply store and buy things if you're not in the military.
Well, what the fuck? I thought this was America.
America.
Yeah. What, I can get an AK-47, but I can't get a fucking weather balloon?
Well, don't worry. This is America.
Thank God.
And you know what they ended up saying? They said, excuse me, sir, we work for a studio and we're buying these balloons for a TV commercial. And the guy's like, yeah, why didn't you just say that earlier? Duh. Of course you are.
Our policy is only military personnel and people who make commercials.
And Hollywood.
Yeah.
Hello.
Capitalism,
That's
baby.
America.
That's
okay.
It's bringing a tear to my eye. Feeling so patriotic. Feeling like that 9-year-old girl who got the American flag tattoo. Did you not hear about that?
I did.
You did?
I did.
Just Google that, you guys. I can't get into it right now. Just Google it.
That's America.
Fuck yeah.
So they get the balloons because they're like, the guy's like, oh, you're making a TV commercial? Fuck yeah. Here you go.
Say no more.
Here's all the balloons you want. Then they go to Sears and they find the most perfect lawn chair with waffle iron webbing in the seat, aluminum armrests, and it's on sale for only $109.
For a lawn chair?
Mm-hmm.
What the heck's going on in the 80s?
Larry even said that this lawn chair was so great that his mom went back and bought 2 more because they were on sale. So
I gotta get my hands on one of these.
that's a pretty good lawn chair.
That's a pretty dang good.
It's nice and sturdy.
Lawn chair.
Mm-hmm. America?
Fuck yeah. It was probably made in China. If I know anything about America.
Probably. So now Carol, even though she was super supportive of her man's crazy plan, she still wanted to make sure he was doing this safely, right? So she's like, hey, before you get up in the sky on your lawn chair. No helmet, actually. Still,
helmet just feels intuitive.
Unfortunately, there was no helmet. At all.
Spoiler
in this entire
alert,
process.
No helmet.
But she did make him go to the Elsinore Flight School in Paris, California, and learn how to jump with a parachute.
Okay, that makes sense.
So she's like, you got to learn how to jump with this parachute. So he does it, and then they end up buying a parachute for $900. And they're like, she's like, you're going to take this on the lawn chair with you.
This is getting pricey.
Yeah, and she's footing the bill for this whole thing.
What does she do for work?
I don't know. Couldn't tell you. But everyone needs a Carol.
Yeah, Carol, hit me up about some money management issues I've been having recently.
So finally, on July 2nd, 1982, Larry Walter, after months of preparation, he's finally going to launch his plan in action and rise up into the sky. So they're in Carol's mother's backyard in San Pedro, California.
Hey, local.
Hey. He fills 42 to 43, depending on who you ask, balloons with helium.
Okay.
And attach them all to his lawn chair. Now, they did this through a 24-hour period. So they started the day before. And when they were doing this, I guess like the cops were called at one point, and they once again said, this is for a commercial shoot. And this is America. So the cops said, absolutely.
They said, you're trying to sell something to poor people?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They
do
said,
whatever you need to do, buddy.
They said, sir, you're doing the Lord's work.
Yeah. Thank God you're here.
Do what you have to do.
Frankly, thank God.
Yeah. So they get all of the balloons blown up, attach them to the chair. He puts on his parachute. He gets his two-way radio, a hand compass, a flashlight, 8 plastic bottles of water that were placed on the sides of the chair for like stability.
Not for drinking.
Not for drinking, for stability. Do you want to know what he got to drink?
Beer?
2 liters of Coca-Cola.
Oh, what a fucking G. Okay.
A package of beef jerky. Because, you know, he might get hungry up there.
No, he's just like me on a road trip.
A road map of California.
There we go.
He had, yeah. And a BB gun for popping the balloons when it was time to descend. Because obviously that's how he's going to get down, right? That's the only way.
Oh my God.
When he was just about to take off, his friend is like, wait, don't leave yet. And he runs down the street to the marine supply store and he grabs a life jacket just in case something were to happen to Larry and he's like taken out to sea. So this delays Larry's flight for 45 minutes.
Yeah, because like what if he accidentally, like the winds start taking him towards like Catalina?
You never know.
You don't know.
Literally don't know what can happen. But finally, at 10:30 a.m., Larry gets into the lawn chair, which he dubbed the Inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole idea was that he was going to be lifted about 100 feet into the air, and the lawn chair was going to be attached to his friend's 1962 Chevrolet Bonneville car by a giant rope.
Oh, to kind of like direct it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he wasn't gonna like be
he's not just loose.
Well, he was gonna be loose eventually, but
what if he went too high and went into space?
So
I guess that's what the BB gun's for.
That is what the BB gun is for, yes. But Larry had this all down to a science. He claims that he had everything under control. He knew exactly what he was doing, and that the amount of balloons was only going to take him about 7,000 to 8,000 feet into the air.
Oh my God, that's far.
Really high. I know. The rope thing was for, he wanted to like be lifted into the air. I'm assuming the car was going to drive like maybe to a different location so there's not like neighborhoods and houses before he kind of like goes off on his own and like wants to make sure everything is situated and working for him.
Yeah, and probably to avoid, because San Pedro's right on the water, to avoid going over the ocean.
Correct. But none of these people expected how fast Larry would start to rise into the sky once he began liftoff.
How were they like tethering him to the floor? Did they have him like tied down?
I'm assuming. I mean, he had to have been tied down because he didn't. They like cut something for him to get lifted off, like because all the balloons were already filled with helium.
Yeah, and like they had to connect them all to the chair.
Yeah, so something had to have been tying him down to the ground. Okay. So within seconds, the Inspiration reached the end of the rope, and it snapped in half.
Larry.
The chair flung forward and Larry's glasses flew off his face and down hundreds of feet below him.
Larry, this is why you weren't allowed to be a pilot.
Exactly.
You couldn't even think to attach your glasses to your face?
So now he is floating willy-nilly, free-balling it into the sky on a lawn chair, and he's blind.
You're lucky you're in California. If you were in like Texas or the South, somebody would have shot you.
That's so true. Yeah. So immediately, as Carol is watching her boyfriend quickly rise higher and higher into the sky, she radios into him, and this conversation was recorded for later use. So she's like, Larry, come down. You've got to come down if you can't see. Come down. And Larry's like, I have a backup pair of glasses. I'm A-okay.
He did.
Yeah. He's like, I'm A-okay, babe. Relax. And then he starts to rise higher and higher. And he's like, I'm going through a dense fog layer. Carol says, oh, God, keep talking, Larry. We've got airplanes and they can't see you.
Oh, my God. I didn't even think about that.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you're actually not far from the airport.
No. And she sees the airplanes heading towards him. And then she goes, you're heading for the ocean. You have to come down. So she continues to scream into this radio for him to come down as he rises up past 2,500 feet. But Larry said, no way in heck was he going to come down after all this planning and after all the years he's waited to do this.
I kind of understand.
Yeah. He said, no way in heck. He went higher and higher. And the higher he went, the more he was able to see. And he said it was awesome. He could see the orange funnels of the Queen Mary.
Aww.
And the oil tanks at the naval station. And he could see Catalina Island. So Larry is now very close to 16,000 feet into the air.
Oh, that makes me sick.
And at this point, he is spotted by two commercial airliners, Delta and TWA. And they were coming into LAX.
Yeah.
And they see him and they're like, what the fuck am I looking at right now? What is happening?
We're dealing with something insane that could be very dangerous.
So one of the airlines, they call into air traffic control and they say, this is TWA 231, level at 16,000 feet. We have a man in a chair attached to balloons in our 10 o'clock position, range 5 miles.
I guarantee you the people that they like radioed that into were like, yeah, sure, bro.
Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean you have a man in a chair?
How hard did you party last night before you took this flight on?
Yeah, like you're not supposed to like be
on acid,
on drugs when you're flying a plane with a bunch of people on the So Larry is finally like, okay, I think I'm a little higher than I intended to be, and it's getting kind of scary now. So he decides he's going to shoot his BB gun at some of the balloons to try to like descend a couple thousand feet at least. So he pops 7 balloons, and then a huge gust of wind comes and blows Larry sideways, causing the chair to tilt forward once again. And
another pair of glasses, is he?
He doesn't lose a pair of glasses, but he does lose his BB gun.
Oh, that's not good.
Which falls out of his lap and down somewhere.
You think like if you were gonna be on a fucking lawn chair?
He's not even strapped in. Like he doesn't even have a seatbelt.
That's what I'm saying. Like you would think you would have really locked in on this one. Like you would have had like things tied to things. You would be strapped in.
No, not even
maybe a helmet.
No helmet, no seatbelt. He's free balling it.
He's fucking raw dogging space right now.
Yeah, and he drops his BB gun and he's like, hope it doesn't hit anyone.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Luckily, isn't he like kind of over the ocean at this point?
No. he's very much over LAX at this point.
Oh my God, he's gonna get shot down. It's like so ridiculous.
So now Larry's like, oh boy, I really fucked up here. I think I might be in trouble.
Ruh-roh.
The air was starting to get thin. He said he was having difficulty breathing. And he's like, maybe I should just jump and hope the parachute works.
I forgot about the parachute.
Yeah, he has the parachute on his back, but he's never used it. So he's like, I don't know. What else am I going to do? But luckily, he did start to descend his the helium in his balloons. He's up there for about like an hour and a half at this point. They started to kind of like seep through.
Okay.
And he's descending a little bit. So he gets down to 13,000 feet. And that's when he's able to use his radio to speak to an operator from an emergency rescue unit.
Okay.
So the operator asks him, what airport did you take off from? And he says, my point of departure was 1633 West 7th Street, San Pedro.
The way that I know like where that is.
And the operator goes, I'm sorry, sir. I couldn't hear you. What airport did you take off from? Can you repeat that, please? And Larry now has to explain to the operator what he has done. And he's like, yeah, I am in this unauthorized aircraft. And
with no seatbelts.
With no seatbelts. And can you just please contact my ground crew and tell them I'm okay? Tell Carol I love her and I'm doing fine. Please. Over.
My ground crew. Shut up. Oh
it's literally like his girlfriend and his friends.
Yeah, with like a fucking like a little walkie-talkie.
And they're like the operator at this point is like, what am I hearing? Like, what are you saying, sir? And now Larry finds himself directly over the Long Beach airport. And he's actually starting to get down to 2,000 feet.
Oh, so he's still descending.
He's descending. So at this point, he like looks down on the ground. He's like, okay, I can like see things now.
Yeah.
Like I actually like see land. And he starts to slash the plastic water bottles that are on the side of his chair to get all the water out. To like,
he thinks that's going to make him.
Well, it does. It helps. And he starts descending even faster.
Don't descend too fast, brother.
So Larry's getting really excited because he can see the ground and he can see people's houses. He starts to be able to hear dogs barking and people talking. And he looks down and he sees rooftops. And he's like, well, I really hope I don't crash at anyone's house. But he's still descending and he's kind of just hoping for the best at this point.
Okay.
And then all of a sudden, he stops moving. So Lawnchair Larry is now nestled into the power lines.
Oh.
And he said that if he had come in a little higher, that the chair would have hit the wires and he would have been electrocuted.
Yeah.
He later said, and I quote, "It's ironic because the guy that owned the house, he was out reading the morning paper on his Chase lounge next to his swimming pool. And, you know, just the look on this guy's face, like he hears a noise as I scraped across the roof, and he looks up and sees this pair of boots and the chair floating right over him under the power lines, right? He sat there mesmerized, just looking at me. After about 15 seconds, he got out of his chair and he said, 'Hey, do you need any help?' And guess what? It turns out he was a pilot. An airline pilot on his day off."
Shut up. That's so funny. I'm just like picturing my boyfriend's dad's neighborhood because it's right by the airport.
No, yeah.
And like that's exactly how their like backyard is set up. That's so funny.
So Larry, being stuck in the power lines, ends up causing a 20-minute blackout on 45th Street in Long Beach, California.
Oh my God.
The police end up coming. They get him down and they talk to him. They arrest him, obviously, because they're like, what the fuck were you doing? And the FAA, they tried to revoke his pilot license. And then he's like, I'm not a pilot.
They're like, it's fine. We'll just punish him by taking his pilot's license away. And it's like, oh, brother, you can't take what I never had.
Exactly. And they're like, what do you mean you're not a pilot? And he's like, yep, sorry, I'm nothing. And they're like, okay, what are we going to do? So they end up slapping him with a $1,500 fine.
Okay.
But ultimately,
that seems honestly cheap for what he did.
Very cheap.
Yeah.
And they even said, like, in an interview later, they were like, we know he like did some illegal things, but we can't exactly figure out what to charge him with.
Yeah. No, I was actually thinking that. I'm like, I don't know if like it's so ridiculous. I don't even know what laws they would have in place to fight this.
So it turns out a lawn chair does not require an airworthiness certificate.
Yeah, I would assume so.
So they literally were like, we have no idea what to charge this man with. So they were like, just pay us $1,500. We don't know what to do with you. Which I'm sure his girlfriend had to pay.
Yeah. Jeez Louise, that girl, he ran her dry.
So Larry went on to be a local celebrity, getting interviewed on all these different late night talk shows. But he never regretted his flight experience for anything. He even said he would do it again if he had the chance. The worst thing that happened to him was pretty much getting yelled at by his girlfriend, Carol, for being reckless and stupid.
Yeah.
And he told David Letterman in an interview that he had officially achieved inner peace.
Good for him. I'm glad it worked.
Yeah.
You know what? It was dangerous. It was stupid, but God damn it, it worked.
God damn it, it worked. It was his lifelong dream and he fucking achieved it.
Yeah.
And I am happy for him.
You can't hate on peace of mind.
Rest in peace, Larry. You would have loved this podcast.
Tell your friends. Wonderful. Love that story. Obviously, Lawnchair Larry is a local legend.
He's an inspiration to us all.
Inspiration to us all. Yeah.
Is there anything in life that you would want to achieve like that? Like I was trying to think of like what would be my like lawn chair balloon experience, and I don't know.
Probably swim with great white sharks.
Ooh, okay.
That's mine. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I really want to get scuba certified. So me and our friend Steven are working on a new project that is nautical in nature.
My favorite.
Naughty by nature.
My favorite topic.
I was going to say, that's why Amanda is conveniently not getting involved in said project. But he has said like multiple times, he's like, we should go to Catalina and get scuba certified to do some video stuff.
Can I go to Catalina just to go?
Yeah, you can just drink and watch us.
Yeah, great.
Be idiots.
I love Catalina.
Yeah, you're invited. Obviously.
Okay, great.
But here's the thing. Okay, so I love the ocean. I love swimming in the ocean. I'm afraid that I will get claustrophobic.
Yeah, you will.
Trying to scuba dive.
You will.
I'm afraid to scuba dive because I love the ocean already so much, and but once again, like swimming in the ocean, even deep does not scare me. I have no problem. It's the claustrophobia thing that scares me.
No, you will get claustrophobic.
Yeah. And then I'm afraid that if that scares me once, then I will like develop a fear of the ocean is my fear. But I don't know. You got to try to see, I guess.
I guess if you don't try,
yeah,
you
don't have
know.
anything?
I mean, like I would love to. I always say I want to hug a sea lion.
Yes.
And I want to hug an orangutan. But like,
ooh, you don't want to hug an orangutan.
Well, why not? What if there's a nice one? Like Maurice from Planet of the Apes.
Oh, they will rip your face off, baby girl. I love you.
Well,
monkeys are so scary.
I know, but
you know what? I think you actually do need to finish Chimp Crazy to get a realistic expectation here.
But I don't know. I truly don't know what like my lawn chair would be. Like I don't know if there's something that I'm like I have to do this before I die or I'll never find happiness.
Yeah, see that's my problem is the never find happiness part or like find peace. I'm pretty happy just being alive.
Yeah, like I don't know.
I'm just happy to be here.
I don't think I have a thing like that.
I'm happy to just be able to watch movies and have my little stupid opinions and you know what I mean?
But I'm happy that Larry like had a thing and he achieved it.
You know what? I don't think most people have a thing like that.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
I think that's a very specific type of person.
Yeah.
And I'm glad he got to do what he needed to do. And it's a hilarious story now for us.
It's hilarious because he survived and
honestly, I think people like that who have that thing. They're like, if I die like this, then that's
no. I think he would have been fine with it.
Yeah, he would have been like, that's. But
then
the way
poor
I wanted
Carol
to go.
was sitting there like freaking out.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the thing. It's it reminds me of that documentary Free Solo. Have you seen that?
Mm-mm.
About the rock climbing guy? You should watch it.
Should I?
I mean, it's very interesting, but he's like this, where he's like, I need to do this thing. And if I don't do it, I won't be happy. And his girlfriend's like, am I not enough? And he's like, no, basically. And then
that's crazy.
And then she just like has to watch him do this extremely dangerous thing because it's the only thing that makes him happy. And she loves him. But it's like, I just can't imagine being in that mindset. I mean, one of the reasons I haven't swam with sharks yet is because Andrew said no.
Thank God.
Not like said
because
no.
I
like
said no and you didn't care.
Not like said no, like you can't do it, or you know what? Like he's not controlling like that at all. Actually, he's the opposite.
No, he doesn't want you to die.
But he just is. Yeah, he thinks it's scary, and it's the idea of me doing it scares him. And I love him so much, I don't want to scare him.
How come you didn't love me so much that you didn't want to scare me?
Well, because your husband said he would come with me.
Yeah,
and so I said, if he's
not allowed,
if he's disrespecting you, I am.
He's
too.
not allowed to do that. Are you crazy? I would chop off his foot before he gets in the ocean.
Andrew did say if we take him to brunch before and get a couple Bloody Marys in him, and he's allowed to go on the boat, then he probably would be good with it.
Andrew, you're giving up too quickly here, bro.
Listen, we'll cave for Bloody Marys apparently.
God.
But yeah, I think that's my only one where I'm like, I really wanted to do that before I turned 30, but Andrew and you both said no, that I wasn't allowed to. But I really want to swim with sharks really, really bad. I've swam with baby zebra sharks.
Yeah, keep it like that.
But I've never swam with. I would like to swim with great whites. Yeah.
Well,
but not enough that I would like build my own makeshift boat and throw chum over and just dive in. You know what I mean? Like I want to do it like the official safe way.
No, that's good. That's good. I'm happy about that.
Yeah. That's why I'm like, I guess that, but like it's not even because I wouldn't be like,
you wouldn't go to the ends of the earth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I've been at a beach before where there was great whites in the water and they called everyone out of the water and you bet your ass I fucking booked it out.
Right. Like you're not going to dive in.
Yeah. I'm not just like, here's my chance. You know what I mean? I'm not a fucking psycho. I'm not like they'll match my freak. It'll be fine.
What if they did?
They matched my freak.
Oh my God. Sorry. Now that you're talking about the ocean, did you see someone sent me this video and I was laughing so hard that there's like these like crocodiles in some country
that are pretending Indonesia that are pretending
to drown. And their little hands are just like out in the water.
And they look like a little kid who's drowning. It's so freaky.
Why are they doing that?
Because they want you to get in the water so they can eat you.
Oh, I hate the ocean.
That's not the ocean, baby. That's regular ass water.
I hate the water. I hate everything about that. Anyway, let me know, guys. Let me know what you're thinking.
Yeah, what's your armchair? We want to hear
lawn chair.
Oh, sorry, lawn chair.
Specifically.
And that you don't need a what was it? You don't need a air what was the certificate?
Oh, you don't need a what is it?
I don't remember the name of it. Sorry, we've been it's 10:30 at night.
It's 10:30 p.m.
and we've been recording for like 4 hours.
Airworthiness certificate.
You don't need an airworthiness certificate.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, this is the latest we've recorded in a long time.
Oh my gosh. I know. I was like, why are my eyes burning? And I was like, oh, because it's 10:30 at night. All right. Well, how about we round this out with a listener story?
Let's do it.
From one of our cool kids, Courtney M.
Hi, Courtney.
Courtney says, hail and well met. I use the pronouns she, they, sir. I'm a Capricorn, January 19th.
Capricorn.
Ooh, birthday's coming up. Detroit Lions are my team. Wow. And this is from a while ago. You must be very happy right now. The Detroit Lions are one of the best teams in the league right now.
Okay.
And they are like notoriously bad, like Raiders level bad. And they're like, but this year they're like, I think they've only lost 2 or 3 times. They're very good.
Because Courtney is their fan.
Durr. And my favorite song is I Hate It Here by Taylor Swift from TTPD. I don't know what that means.
Probably one of her albums.
Yeah, I have literally never listened to I'm happy for you. I just don't know anything about Taylor Swift besides All You'll Ever Be Is Mine.
Wow, that's an oldie.
And I loved that song when I was a kid. Okay. My favorite podcast is Drinking the Kool-Aid. And I must begin by telling you how your place in my obsessions is very special for me. For the past year, y'all have been keeping me company, and occasionally I accidentally talk back to the podcast. You're not the only one to do that, by the way. I've been struggling with mental health and have been unable to work, so you guys have helped fill my time. I told you I had some stories to share, so here we go. I write this during the 3 a.m. hour. Dare I say this is a terrible idea? The witching hour, Courtney?
Yeah, that's literally the witching hour.
Come on. Oh, well. I don't have a lot of clear memories from my first 18 years due to trauma, but the memories I do have make themselves known most days. When I was about 7, I lived in this old house that never felt quite right. It was definitely haunted. One night I woke up suddenly and I was aware that I was being watched. Ugh. So I sat up. When I turned to my right towards the door, I assumed one of my family would be there. There was something there.
No.
What it was, I am unsure of. Mere moments passed, and I stared in fright as a baseball came flying at me. It came out of nowhere and nearly hit me in the head, but I leaned back just in time. The baseball whistled by my nose. I could hear the speed and feel the wind, and it didn't hit the wall. I screamed and hid under my blanket. My father or mother, I can't recall, rushed in to get me after waking them. A few weeks later, I got a bunk bed. I was told it would be safer. I could be like Aladdin on a flying carpet. And this brings me to my second story. Sometime during that year, I was dreaming of my father being attacked by a dog. Kind of like a hellhound, perhaps. Suddenly, I felt a shift in my bedding and I awoke again. I could not bring myself to look over the side of my quote-unquote magic carpet because I was too scared. After what felt like an eternity, I was able to calm enough to think I should hide under my blankets. Big mistake. Huge. As I slowly lifted my blanket, my scrawny little arms shaking, there was what looked like a child under my blanket.
Oh, what?
It was crouching right next to my legs, not quite touching me. Its face was hidden in shadow, but I could see its eyes. They were very human, but in that unsettling way that felt wrong. I was utterly petrified. I could not breathe. I could not speak, but I could pee my pants.
I'm about to pee my pants right now. What the fuck?
I do not know how long I remained that way. Of course, it felt like an eternity, but eventually I gained enough control to let go of my blanket and
your bladder
and your bladder and hide the thing from view.
Why would you're just like, I'm just gonna put the blanket back up and pretend like that thing's not there.
Well, the shape of this demon child remained under my blanket for a moment and then suddenly was gone. In the morning, my mom found me curled into a ball on the floor. A few months later, my mother left us, me and my father and my little brother. I never had another encounter like that once she left, so perhaps it had something to do with her.
Oh my gosh.
A year later, when she decided to return, we moved away from that house. I have more stories I'd like to share with you, but that's for another night because I have already scared the shit out of myself. I will leave you with these words. You two are marvelous. I appreciate the part you played in my day-to-day existence. Always your friend, Courtney. P.S. Cunt. Such a fantastic word.
I feel like Courtney really just wanted to get that off their chest.
Yeah, you really got to get that cunt out there sometimes. I agree.
No, but I don't like that because I always think that whenever I hear something or I'm scared, if I just put my blanket over my head, I'm going to be safe.
And then there's something under
and
there.
Now I'm not safe.
So what actually it makes me think of, I can't remember if it's The Ring or The Ring 2, but there's a scene where she's like, ha ha, Michael, stop. And then she lifts up the blanket because something's like tickling her feet. And it's the little ring kid.
Oh, I think it has to be Ring 1 because I don't remember Ring 2 very well.
Oh, yeah, because that always scared me so bad. And then remember, and I've talked about this in the podcast, so I'm so sorry, guys. I've only lived so long. I only have like 8 stories and I have to keep retelling them and retelling them and retelling them. One time I was in my bed and my cat likes to go under my comforter. Mm-hmm. And I lifted up my comforter and I literally saw my cat next to me, like just his little black head, and just put the comforter back down. And then I'm not kidding you, 30 seconds later, he jumps onto the bed.
Yeah. I
was like, ghost cat. So
I wouldn't mind a ghost cat.
It was just so
the ghost demon child.
When
I don't know.
He jumped from
the side
onto the bed.
Yeah.
The way I lifted the sheets, and obviously there's no cat under there. And I would have felt him if he would have scurried away. Like it was just me in the bed. It freaked me out so bad. I called to my boyfriend and I was like, oh my God. He comes running from the other room because he thought someone broke in and trying to stab me. And I'm like, there was another cat under the sheets. And he's like, sure there was, Cassidy. Patting me like I'm a fucking mental patient. But I saw it. I know what I saw. Anyway, if you have a listener story you would like to share with us, you can do that at dtkpod.com/contact. We really appreciate your guys' stories. We love reading them. We love hearing from you. And please send them in. We love it.
Please.
We do have a backlog. So if you sent one in and it hasn't happened yet, just know it's going to happen eventually because we're planning on doing this until we're even older ladies. But I hope everyone's having a wonderful, happy new year. I hope you're staying safe wherever you are at. And I just want you guys to know our thoughts are with you guys, and we're trying our hardest to keep eyes on situations in the world, be it the fires in California, the ongoing situation in Gaza, what's the storms that are hitting the South right now in the United States. There's so much all the time. Mm-hmm. And we do want you guys to know that we love you, we're here for you, and we're thinking of you, and we want to continue to help you. So thank you for supporting our podcast and letting us do that because we love you. We hope you have a wonderful 2025. And most importantly, make sure you keep that front door locked.
Make sure you keep your mind open.
And keep drinking the Kool-Aid.